So again, so my sim. So in case of multivariate analysis, we are having this is just a generalization of your univariate case or the multivariate case. So bivariate case or the bivariate or the univariate case. So in multivariate cases, we are in n numbers of variable associated with our data. So this n is usually more than 2. So what is the benefit of going for this multivariate analysis? So in case of multivariate analysis, we are going to study more complex data sets. So in the earlier semester, we had covered the univariate and the bivariate analysis. So we are having some simpler form of the data is being available. Now we are going for the complex sets of data. So actually this data is being really available in the your real world. So we like to cover a complex data set. So we are going for the multivariate analysis, and then we'll go for multivariate normal distribution. So multivariate analysis is usually like to reduce the likelihood of a type 1 error. So again, I think that you are comfortable with the type 1 error. So this is just of the your true positive and true negative and so on. So all sorts of things from your contingency table. So we are having at least more than 20 different ways to perform our multivariate analysis. Like we can go for additive trees or like a multi-dimension scaling or the cluster analysis. So this figure is just like in cluster analysis. Then we can go for principal component analysis. So in our course, we'll go for this principal component analysis, and then another way is to find the correspondence analysis. This is just similar to your principal component analysis. So we'll cover this principal component analysis in the theory as well as in the Python programming. So we'll starting with the normal distribution. So the first topic of your course is the multivariate normal distribution. So before going for multivariate normal distribution, we'll start with just a normal distribution. So typically what we are having in data is usually like these are shown in upper three figures. So either data might be left skewed or right skewed or anything, like just in your first figure. So this data is usually a left skewed data. So or we can say that is a negative skewed data. So for this case, your mode of this data, when we are going to find the central tendency of our data, so mode lies between this 120. So the highest pillar will reflect the mode of your data. Then we are having some median just in between 80 to 100, and mean just lies in between 60 to 80 over there. While in case of right skewed data, our mode lies on this our mode lies on that on this highest pillar. So then we'll go for median, and then we have a sequence of mean. So the sequence of mean, mode, median for the left skewed as well as right skewed is that for the left skewed data we will get mean, then we'll have a median, then we'll have mode. Then in case of right skewed data, first we have some modes, and then we are having median, and then we go for mean. Now going for the third figure. So this is just an multimodal data because we are having two peaks available here. So we cannot say where your mean and your mode lies. So usually typically data is like that, but in the many cases where data tends to be lies at the center, or that lies near about your central tendency, like it will be lies near about your mean, median, or mode, and exactly we will get the symmetry for your central tendency. So in case of this first example over in the top view for this left skewed data, so our data is biased toward 100 to 120 ranges, while in case of second, this purple color or pink color, I don't know which color is it, our data is biased toward the frequency of 10 to 30 or there. And in case of third, that blue color, so our data is biased toward 0 to 30 or it is biased toward 90 to 100 frequency for the x-axis. Now, in case of your normally distributed data, that is your data is lies symmetrically on your mean or mode or median. So in this case, your mean is equals to the mode equals to the median. So your mode always lies on your mean and as well as on median. So we get the symmetry like in your fourth figure. So this is on blue figure. So our 50% data lies on the left side and our 50% data lies on the right side of your central tendency. So this is just an uniform distribution, or we can go for this. So for this fourth figure is for your continuous variables, like and then if you are having some discrete variables. So this is the fourth figure, the yellow one. So this fourth figure will reflect again an normal distribution for your data. So this is just a distribution. The first is the probability distribution, and the fifth one is the probability mass functions available. If you like to draw a line over there. So what we'll get is we'll get some bell curve for this normal distribution. So we can say that our data is just and symmetrical data. So what should be the equation of this data? If anyone can say that from student side, what should be the equation of this normal distribution? I think that you are covered in the probability and statistics subject in the first semester, the formula for finding the normal distribution. Okay, if you are not comfortable, then this is the probability mass function, sorry, probability distribution function for this normal distribution is 1 upon under root 2 pi sigma square into exponential of x minus mu square upon minus 2 sigma square. So this is just a formula for normal distribution. So we are having two parameters available for the normal distribution. So as I told the formula, so this is the formula is 1 upon under root 2 pi sigma square. The first parameter is the sigma square. This is the variance, and second one is x minus mu square. So this mu is the second parameter. So we are in two different parameters, that is the mean and standard deviation. So based on our standard mean and standard deviation, your data can shift from right to left or left to right, as well as you can achieve some peaks for your data, how your data is being distributed. So let's say in the first example where this is a normal distribution with different means and same standard deviation. So let's say our means are 100 and 150 when we have some constant standard deviation. So this, let's say this standard deviation is 15. So variance is just like the square of this standard deviation. So it might be 255. So in the first figure, we have plotted this x versus density. So the density, so two bell curves shifted from with have same type of variances available. So their span is near about same, but they lies different on your x-axis. So what it says that it means that your mode, when we are having some mean is equals to 100, it means that we are having a normally distributed data. So your mean is always equals to the mode. So the peakness, your peak lies on the your mean of data. So for the blue one, your peak is on the 100, and for the this red one, your peak is on 150. So this is just a representation of a constant standard deviation and with different means. Now, if we are putting constant mean and we are varying our standard deviation. So for this, let's say our mean is at on 100 and we have varied our standard deviation. So first standard deviation, the blue one is, let's say 15, and the second standard deviation is on the 30th side. So these are the second figure shows this schema. So for this, for we are in for the case of lower standard variation will achieve the high peakness, while in case of high variance or the high standard deviation, we are having quite large span of our distribution curve. So its size or its height will be reduced in comparison to the previous one. So why it is so? Because the area under curve should be equals to 1. So our probability is always the summation of all probabilities equals to 1. So either we can achieve height or we can achieve span on the x-axis. So these are the two different parameters available for our standard, normal distribution. Here we check either putting constant mean or putting constant standard deviation. So these are two different examples of varying some parameters of normal distribution. Now going for the multivariate normal distribution. So this is just an example how your multivariate normal distributions look like. So these two examples are, I'm not going for multivariate normal distribution because it is not possible to visualize your 3-dimension or 4-dimension or 5-dimension data on your screen. So I'm going for just some bivariate normal distribution over here. So you can generalize it for n dimensions over here. So it is for just an 2-dimension over here. So your multivariate normal distribution, or we can say that alternative, we can say that multivariate Gaussian distribution, or we can say that joint normal distribution of all those parameters that are being available. So if you are having a parameter x1, x2, x3 up to xn, so this is our, we can say that this is a multivariate normal distribution or a multivariate Gaussian distribution, or we can say that finally we can say that this is just an joint normal distribution of n vectors. So it is just an generalization of your univariate dimension. So in case of univariate direction, just look at on the second figure. Let's say on the x-axis or on the y-axis. No, that's an let's see on the px axis or go for the py axis where it is represented as a blue curve on the red curve. So this is just an one dimension normal distribution, and again on the blue screen this is again an one dimension normal distribution available here. So just a minute, kindly wait. So this is just an representation how your 2-dimensional data is being represented as an your different. So for the left side, this is just a 2-dimensional normal distributed data looks like. So we are in some x-axis and we are in y-axis. So on this y-axis we are getting on plane. So this is an xy plane, and we are going from the third dimension. So in case of third dimension, so we can represent, so viewing from the y side, so it is being represented on the py axis. So this looks like an on the your red screen, and when we are looking from your x-axis, so it is being represented as an p-x-axis, so represented as an blue line. So this is just a representation of your data. So are you comfortable? So visualize your 3-dimension data. Are you comfortable visualization how we represent our 3-dimensional data in the multivariate normal distribution? Hello? Any responses?
सर वॉइस कट हो रही है
सर आपकी आवाज कट रही है।
यार प्रॉब्लम ये आ रही है कि कॉलेज के कंप्यूटर पे चल नहीं रहा, मेरी स्क्रीन शेयर हो नहीं पा रही है और मैं मेरे मोबाइल से नेटवर्क पे कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. सो लेट्स से अगेन मैं चेक करता हूँ. सो विजुअलाइजेशन इज कंफर्टेबल फॉर यू और नॉट? Is this visualization is comfortable? How we can represent our 2-dimension or 3-dimension data
Yes, sir.
in
Yes, sir.
univariate case? Fine. Yeah. So this is just an example of 2-dimensional normal distribution. So I represented as a we can generalize it as a multivariate and multivariate normal distribution. And for this multivariate normal distribution, if we are going for 1 dimension, you can look it as a just a simple bell curve for single univariate normal distribution. So this is, we can say that this n-dimension multivariate normal distribution or this joint normal distribution can be represented as a mixture of or the linear combination of or any combination of univariate normal distribution. So if x1 is an x1 is normally distributed, then x2 is normally distributed, x3 is normally distributed, then the combination of all these x1, x2, x3 can be represented as an joint normal distribution, and the combination of any combination of this x1 and x2 and x3 is just a normal distribution. So we can represent it as an just a figure that is being represented on the right side.
सर
Let's say हाँ bro.
सर वो जो सेकंड ग्राफ है सर उसमें वो ग्रीन जो है वो क्या रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है सर?
मैं कंटूर पे आ रहा हूँ. दिस ग्रीन रिप्रेजेंट्स योर कंटूर. मैं अगर इसको ऊपर से देख रहा हूँ तो रेड फिगर जो आपका आ रहा है ना, वो मैं आपको वाई एक्सिस से देख रहा हूँ. मैं एक्स एक्सिस को जब देख रहा हूँ तो मैं एक्स एक्सिस से देख रहा हूँ तो मेरे पास ब्लू फिगर आ रहा है. अब मान लीजिए मैं उसको ऊपर से टॉप व्यू से देखने की कोशिश करूँ. बाकी ये जो दो व्यू थे हमारे पास, दीज आर द रियर व्यूज. बस पर अगर हम इसको ऊपर से आने की देखने की कोशिश करेंगे, सो दिस इज जस्ट योर टॉप व्यू. सो दिस इट रिप्रेजेंट्स योर कंटूर्स. आई विल कवर दिस ऑन द डिफरेंट कंटूर्स लाइन आफ्टर 4 or 5 slides. So be
yes sir. Yes sir.
okay. So that normal distribution is just a vector in multiple normally distributed, as I told. So we can represent your multivariate normal distribution as a combination or a fine combination of your multivariate normal distribution, univariate normal distribution. So we can say that any linear combination of variable is also a normally distribution. So if we are having x1, x2, x3 are the normally distributed vector, so any combination or linear combination of x1, x2, x3 is again a normal distribution. So we can say that if it is this is x is normally distributed, this y is again a normally distributed. So x and y, combination of x and y represent this figure on your left side. So this is a linear combination. So we can say that any affine combination of your normal distribution is just a normal distribution. So in generalization, we can say that a multivariate normal distribution is a linear generalization of your multivariate normal distribution. Univariate normal distribution. Fine. So then we go for our formal definition. So as for our normal formal definition, we can say that we are having a vector x which contains x1, x2, and up to xn multivariate normal. If this x is supposed to be, we can say that this is an multivariate normal distribution if we are having a linear combination of this random variable which are distributed normally. So x1, x2, x3 are the normally distributed, then their linear combination. So a1 into x1 plus a2 plus x2 up to n up to xn are can be represented as a multivariate normal distributed. So combination of any linear combination. So when I am saying that any linear combination, so I can put a1, a2, a3 which are constant. So it might be a1 might be 0 or a1 might be 100 and so on. So these are the positive integers. So it represents any positive combination. So let's say again we are going for formal definition. So a multivariate normal distribution can be viewed as a linear transformation as per above equation, that is a1 x1 plus a2 x2 and 2 x1. So we are saying that a multivariate distribution can be viewed as a linear transformation. So it is a linear transformation of small x can be represented as a linear transformation of x1, x2, xn. So a multivariate distribution can be viewed as a linear transformation of collection of independent standard normal random variables. Let's say if x is normally distributed, so we are going for linear so we get a affine transformation. So if x is normally distributed, then let's say y is equals to lx plus u, where L is a linear transformation. So let's say this L might be an matrix which contains some positive values. So it might be a positive definite matrix or positive semi-definite matrix, and plus u is any vector. Then we can say that y is also normally distributed. And if we want to find, let's say, if we want to find a scale, let's say I just want to represent x only x1 in case of y, or I just want to represent x2 as an y, or just want to represent x3 as an y. So what we can do is that we can put this, we can assign this L as a diagonal matrix and the remaining items should be 0. So when we are having a diagonal matrix, unit diagonal matrix, then we can represent each x1 as a y, each x2 as a y, each x3 as a y, and the remaining items of this L matrix are non-diagonal values are zeros. Fine. So when we are saying that y equals to Lx plus u, where L is a linear transformation and u is vector, then we can say that y is again a normally distributed. It is just again a representation of our upper equation. So we can say that if when we are going for the finding the mean of this y, so the mean of y is equals to u, that is your vector, plus any linear transformation, plus your mean of your x. So the covariance matrix of your y is just equals to the L, that is your linear transformation, then covariance matrix and the transpose of this L. So it is just a simple representation you can find out. So we can say that if y is a normally distributed with mean mu y and covariance matrix y, so which we can say that mu y is equals to the u plus L ux, when and again your covariance matrix lies on your variance. So it is just a simple representation. So you can find a simple representation. Now, what are the characteristics of this multivariate normal distribution? So we can represent it. Let's say we go for univariate case. So for univariate case, look at this second equation. So in second equation, this is a joint probability of our this is an probability density function for univariate case for the normal distribution. So this is equals to 1 upon under root 2 sigma square, then exponential of x minus mu upon 2 sigma square. So this is just an normal distribution equation. So for this normal distribution, when we are having minus 1 upon 2 sigma square x minus mu square, so this is that part, this is available in your exponential form. So this quadratic function of x, so this quadratic function of x usually represents an parabola. So and that opens downward to downwards due to the negative coefficient. So if we are having if we can remove this minus, so we can have a concave function, convex function, while if we put this minus on the exponential, so again an exponential is always an positive exponential is supposed to be a convex function. So when we put a negative exponential, so this negative exponential will give you a non-convex function. So we can say that this is a parabola, and this parabola is open towards your downward sides. So we can say that parabola looks like this figure. So this parabola is open towards downward side, and higher, and the upper side it's just like a parabola. So this exponential term, look at this exponential term, x minus mu square upon 2 sigma square. So this x minus mu square upon 2 sigma square gives you bell curve. The remaining item, that is 2 pi sigma square, they are constant values. So this 2 sigma square, sorry, upon sigma square gives this is a particular term that give up parabola or the bell-like shape. If you remove this minus sign, then you will just opposite of this parabola. So your bell opens toward the upper side. So how we can represent our bell curve. Similarly, when we are integrating from minus infinity to infinity, so when we are again going from this figure, so either we can go for any figure on the left side or the right side. So when we are integrating it, let's say we'll go for right side figure, or going for the let's say in the yellow one. So when we are going integrating it from minus infinity to infinity,
transactions were not done directly between the strong and weak banks. They were done through brokers. One of them
माइक
was
बंद कर
Harshit
लो भाई.
Mehta. So Harshit Mehta would approach the weak banks and tell
Hello.
them that he would give them the government bonds they needed. And for getting them those bonds, the weak banks
Hello.
would write a check on his personal.
Okay, fine. So when we are going from this yellow bell curve, so when we are integrating it from minus infinity to infinity, it means that the integration, that is the summation from minus infinity to infinity, will give the value equals to 1. So this is just an example of the probability that summation of all the probabilities are always equals to 1. So this is the formula for this, that for the univariate case, this is the first equation. So we are integrating that univariate case from minus infinity to infinity, will get equals to 1. Again, going for the similarly for the multivariate case, this is a slight correction in this formula, right from the 1 upon 2 pi n by 2 into यहाँ इसके डिनोमिनेटर में मेरे पास सिग्मा भी आएगा. सो दिस इज सिग्मा की पावर 1/2 आएगी. दिस इज सिग्मा इज अ कोवेरियंस मैट्रिक्स. मैंने नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में शायद उसको ठीक कर दिया. फाइन. सो व्हेन वी आर इंटीग्रेटिंग विद ऑल द डायमेंशन, सो इन द फर्स्ट इक्वेशन आई एम इंटीग्रेटिंग फॉर one dimension, so this is only integration from minus infinity to infinity. Now we are considering it for n dimension, so we are having n integrations available, and all this integration starts integrating from minus infinity to infinity. So all the integration in the n dimension again always give the value of 1 to u. Then again for formal definition, so if x is a multivariate normal distribution, it means that it is also having a mean vector view. So for a single normal distribution, our mean is just mu. Then in case of multivariate normal distribution, this mu is equals to the expectation of x1, expectation of x2. So this is just a vector. So instead of writing your line, I put, so this is a
आपकी आवाज प्रॉपर
सर
आप वॉइस
सर आपकी आवाज बहुत कट रही है.
यस सर.
नो सर अभी भी कट रही है.
मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता. So for if x is a multivariate normal distribution, what we can say that we can find out the mean vector. So mean vector is just a representation of expectation of x1, then expectation of x2, and expectation of xn. So instead of writing your horizontal line, vertical line, I wrote it into a horizontal line and place so for the mu vector, so mu vector is just an expectation. In the first row, you will get the expectation of x1. So this is the mean of x1. So that mu vector is just a vector mean of x1 on the first row, and then mean of x2 on the second row, and the mean of xn on the nth row. So the mean of our multivariate normal distribution. Then if we are having n number of rows available for this mean vector, so we can have covariance matrix. So for an covariance matrix between two items, let's say ith and j, so it can be represented as an either by sigma or of xi and xj, and this multivariate normal distribution is just a representation of your it is normally distributed with some mean mu and covariance matrix sigma. So the probability density function for a univariate that is represented as an x with two parameters mu and sigma square is equals to 1 upon under root sigma square and with an exponential of minus x upon 2 sigma. This the first equation is just like an normal distribution of probability density function of the normal distribution. While we are considering for the n dimension, so this is a multivariate normal distribution. So this multivariate normal distribution now being represented as an p with p probability of x with mean mu. So this mu can be calculated from this formula. This is top second row. So this is an expectation of x1, expectation of x2, expectation of x. transpose. Then the covariance matrix. So we have covariance matrix instead of your variance. We are having a covariance matrix. So because it contains n number of items, so instead of going for variance of X, we can have a covariance matrix. So the probability density for this multivariate normal distribution is equals to 1 upon 2 pi n by 2 to the power sigma to the power 1 by 2. Now, in case of univariate normal distribution, I wrote this 1 upon under 2 pi. So if one attribute, so power 2 to the power is just by 1 by 2. Then if you are having n number of variables, so this the power of 2 pi becomes n number of variables. Each 2 pi is associated with each n number of items. So every time this 2 pi is multiplied in your cases, so it will result in the 2 to the power n by 2. Then instead of writing this sigma square, we are having a covariance matrix. So why don't I write this n by 2 for this covariance matrix? Our covariance matrix, which is 1 upon 2 pi to the power n by 2 into under root of this covariance matrix into exponential of minus x minus mu. This is again, now these are again your vectors. So these vectors are represented just as an either, so instead of going for x minus mu square, we can represent as an x minus q minus mu transpose x minus mu. So this is a representation of x minus mu in case of your linear algebra. Then instead of putting sigma square down below, I can write this as an sigma square inverse of your sigma square. So this is just a probability density function of your data. Now again, from now I will generalize my bivariate case and multivariate cases. So I'm again taking an example of multivariate distribution. So and I will represent this multivariate representation as a generalization of bivariate distribution, because bivariate distribution is easily visualized on your screen. So I am going for the bivariate normal distribution. So let's say for bivariate distribution, my sigma is equals to the variance of a standard deviation of 1 1 and sigma 1 2, sigma 1 2 and sigma 2 2. So you can go, that is sigma 1 2 and sigma 1 2 is available on twice in your matrix on the your covariance matrix, because we can say that this covariance matrix is these are covariance between xy or yx is always same. So instead of writing sigma 1 2 and sigma 2 1, we can write sigma 1 2 and sigma 1 2. So sigma 1 2 is always equals to sigma 2 1. So we can say that this covariance matrix is symmetric in nature, because this non-diagonal matrix are just similar. Now while finding the inverse of this two-dimension covariance matrix, simple formula is that find out the determinant of this matrix. So I can find out that determinant of this matrix is 1 upon, so I can put 1 upon determinant of the matrix, then I can put this values by interchanging. So a simple representation of your inverse matrix just looks like let's say two-dimension मैट्रिक्स अगर हमको इनवर्स निकालना है, तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं कि आप सबसे पहले क्या करें, योर डायगोनल आइटम्स को हम स्वैप कर लें, और जो नॉन डायगोनल आइटम्स हैं उनको हम माइनस साइन लगा दें. सो यू कैन सी इन मैट्रिक्स, सो हमने डायगोनल आइटम्स को जस्ट स्वैप करा. सो सिग्मा 1 1 इज स्वैप्ड बाय सिग्मा 2 2, एंड जो नॉन डायगोनल आइटम्स हैं उसमें हमने सिर्फ नेगेटिव साइन लगाया. देन अब उसके बाहर 1 अपॉन में हम उसका डिटरमिनेंट लिख लें, तो डिटरमिनेंट इज सिग्मा 1 1 इनटू सिग्मा 2 2 माइनस सिग्मा 1 2 स्क्वायर. So this is how we can calculate our inverse. Then what is the correlation coefficient between these two items? So the correlation coefficient, that is Pearson coefficient. So this Pearson coefficient is equals to sigma 1 2. So this is sigma 1 2 upon under root of sigma 1 1 and sigma 2 2. So This is how we can calculate the Pearson coefficient. Why we are going for this? So because we have to find out the correlation in between different items. So let's say in our first graph, so this is again a two-dimensional representation. So again, three-dimensional representation. So let's say sigma 11 is equals to sigma 2. So our covariance matrix is the values are similar, and let's say the correlation in between these two items is 0. So this sigma 1 2 is just 0. So correlation between this x and y or two items are 0. So our Bell curves look like center equally distributed from both dimensions. While if we are having sigma 1 1 equals to sigma 2 2, that our diagonal items are seen. But if we are having highly correlation in between them, so let's say this correlation is 0.75. So it means that we are getting a positive correlation between these two items. So in case of positive relation, so we get a curve like in the second figure. So it is not normally distributed, or it is not symmetrical in both two dimensions. So पहले फिगर में आप देखें कि आपका जो बेल कर्व है वो पूरा राउंड सा दिख रहा है, मतलब हम उसका अगर कंटूर हम टॉप व्यू से देखेंगे तो हमको एक कंटूर मिलेगा. देन हम सेकंड फिगर को देखेंगे तो आप टॉप व्यू से देखेंगे तो हमको थोड़ा सा जो बेल कर्व है वो एक तरफ से पतला और एक तरफ से खींचा हुआ दिखाई देगा. तो इसका जस्ट रिप्रेजेंटेशन हम इस केस में देखते हैं. सो लेट्स से हमारा जो पहला फिगर का रिप्रेजेंटेशन था, अब मैं इसको अगर अपने टॉप व्यू से देखता हूं तो टॉप व्यू से आपको क्या दिख रहा है? दिस इज एन प्रोबेबिलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. सो दिस इज माय प्रोबेबिलिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑन द टॉप. वो जो नीचे जो हरा कलर दिस इज ग्रीन कलर. सो दीज आर जो आपके पास डार्क कलर हायर प्रोबेबिलिटी, वाइल हम जब उसके डाउनवर्ड्स में जाते हैं तो डाउनवर्ड्स में हमको क्या मिल रहा है? हमारे पास लोअर प्रोबेबिलिटी दिख रही है. आप इस फिगर में भी देख सकते हैं जो मैंने स्केल दी है. दिस इज प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ x1, जॉइंट प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ x1 एंड x2. सो जॉइंट प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ x1 एंड x2 रिप्रेजेंट्स वेयर आपके पास येलो कलर आया, इसका मतलब वैल्यू 0 है. आपके पास हाई ब्लू है, इसका मतलब हमारे पास प्रोबेबिलिटी ज्यादा है. तो इस फिगर से अगर हम कंपेयर करें, सो इन दिस लेफ्ट फिगर, दिस इज व्हेन वी आर सेइंग दैट रो 1, तो रो 1 2 इज इक्वल्स टू 0. इसका मतलब हमारे पास पियर्सन कोएफिशिएंट 0 आ रहा है. पियर्सन कोएफिशिएंट 0 आ रहा है, इसका मतलब ये है कि हमारे पास जो है इन दोनों के बीच में कोई एसोसिएशन अवेलेबल नहीं है. और इन दोनों के बीच में कोई एसोसिएशन नहीं है, दैट मींस दैट दे आर इंडिपेंडेंट. तो इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल आपको यहाँ दिखते हैं. आई थिंक 2:30 हो गया है. आपकी नेक्स्ट क्लास होगी, हम उसको नेक्स्ट क्लास में कन्वर्ट चेक करते हैं. फाइन. मीनवाइल कोई भी प्रॉब्लम हो आप नेक्स्ट क्लास में पहले मुझसे पूछ लें. Fine.
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
यस सर.
सर अटेंडेंस कैसे मिलेगी?
अटेंडेंस मैंने कैलकुलेट कर ली होगी भाई जी. जिसने